So we are recording. Did we get any public comment?
I haven't seen anything yet.
Can you check the Google Doc, please?
Yep.
Welcome, Bill. Can you see that okay, Bill?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Great. We'll just leave that up until we start.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. It's been interesting. Interesting navigating through all the stuff we're doing, but it's going well. So I'm doing well. It's just a lot of different arenas. What's that?
The upside of COVID means without kids in school, maybe you can get these projects done faster.
Well, yes, if the contractors didn't have issues with their COVID situations, then
all right, I want to make sure that you guys can hear me.
We can hear you.
Bluetooth, I don't want to be on Bluetooth.
We can hear you.
I can hear you, Diane.
Okay, perfect. I got, there's so many Bluetooths in this house. I connect to everything except what I want to connect to.
Deanna, you can see the you're able to see the screen, able to see the agenda.
I have the agenda in front of me. Yep, and I see it on the screen. We're good.
Great. And we're recording this meeting, so it's not live to the public, but we do have a Google Doc, a questionnaire that we sent out on the agenda so that if the public wanted to make comments, they could make comments. I don't believe we received a comment, but Shay, could you confirm that? And then just before we start the meeting, just let us know, or during that time of the meeting, just let us know.
Yep, I'm on here right now. So far, no public comments.
Okay, thank you. But if anything pops up, let us know.
Will do.
All right.
All right, so who do we have on?
So far we have Bill Campbell
Okay.
and myself, and let me check to see if there's anyone else on the feed.
Pat's on.
Pat is on, and Myrtle Shaw is on as well.
Hi, Bill. Hi, Deanna.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, so we're waiting on Nicole and Bill Utter.
Yes.
So what's the best view on Google, on Microsoft Teams? I haven't used it before.
The best view?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you could change it too much. It kind of just changes it as the app changes. So however many people come on, they try to maximize and put the amount of people on the screen. So usually it's the person talking and then, I don't know, whoever they decide to put on. I don't know if you can customize it and move it around. I haven't done that, at least. I just show up where I'm told.
That sounds familiar.
Confirmation that Bill and Nicole are going to join us?
Shay, have they confirmed?
No, I did not get any confirmation from any of the COC, but I did get a confirmation that all the emails and messages were received.
Okay.
So I didn't hear otherwise. They should be on.
Okay. All right, well, we'll wait 2 minutes and then we can proceed since we have a quorum.
Let me see if they responded back.
Oh, there's Nicole. Nicole popped on.
Oh, there's Nicole.
Yeah.
So we're waiting for Bill, and then we'll get started, I guess. And I'm assuming that Mr. Rivera will be, oh, there he is, on cue. And Dr. Hansen will be joining us. I'm not sure. She has a couple things there's a lot going on, as you can imagine. So our superintendent is extremely busy.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, hello. Well, you know what? Why don't we get started? It's 5:30, and then if Bill shows up, that would be great. Well, welcome, everybody. I can't really see all of you, but glad to know that everyone's healthy and able to attend this meeting. And welcome, Pat. We're going to get to you in a little bit, but Pat Buttress is joining us, and we're going to swear her in as one of our members. And we look forward to having you on our team, actually.
Thank you. I'm glad you're not going to swear at me.
So we'll call the meeting to order at 5:31. And I'll be honest with you, unless I have any objections, the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, I have a flag and everything.
Do you?
Good.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, let's all stand then and do the Pledge of Allegiance. I will lead you on it and go from there. All right. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance
to the flag
To the flag
States of
of the
America,
United States of America,
and
and to the republic
one
for which
nation,
it stands,
nation,
one
one
nation,
nation, under God.
with liberty and justice for all. All right, so we're never going to make it in the singing industry being in a chorus. I'll let you know that right now. Okay, we got a roll call here, and I'm just going to go through, and if I say your name, if you could just say that you're here. So Diana, I'm here. Jack is not here, correct?
Yes, and Jack, just to confirm, Jack actually turned in his resignation for this committee.
Okay.
He is fully retired from Chapman University, and so he let us know that he would no longer be a part of the committee because he no longer meets the business organization representative requirement. So we will be looking for someone to fill this position. We will do the same things we did before and solicit that or send an advertisement out and talk to local business organizations like the Chamber of Commerce and other places. So also if you on the committee know of people that would fit the requirement, please let us know or send the information when we send it out. Would be great help to us. So that's just an update.
That's great. Okay, so Bill Campbell.
I'm here.
Okay, Nicole.
Here.
Here. Renell, you're here. And then who do we have here? Pat Buttress is here also. Dave Rivera. Scott. Is Rory on? Is Rory on?
You should be joining us. Yes.
Okay. Did I miss anybody? I don't think I did. Okay. All right, we're good. All right. Any public comments? It's my understanding that you did let the public know, and there were no questions that did come in for public comments.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, we sent out a link on our agenda that allows people to put in a Google Doc public comment. It's very similar to what we do with our board meeting. We're also recording this MS Teams session, so that awesome Pledge of Allegiance will be recorded now forever. But that's happening so that it meets the requirements of a public meeting, and we will post the video on our website along with eventually the minutes, and the agenda's already up. So
Wonderful. All right. Well, we have an agenda, and all of you have seen it. If I can get a motion to approve the agenda.
I so move.
I would move it. Okay, I'll second. Bill Campbell.
Okay. And the first was,
Nicole.
thank you, Nicole. I thought it was you, just wanted to be sure. All right, the next item we have is the approval of the minutes from January. It's been so long ago.
You want to, we had, Madam Chair?
Yeah.
We had a motion, but do you want to have a vote on the approval of the agenda?
I apologize. All in favor of the approval of the agenda?
I'm there.
Aye. All right. Now we're going to go into the approval of the minutes from January 22nd. And I don't know if
I
everyone's.
would move approval, although I wasn't there. I better withdraw mine because I wasn't there for that meeting.
I'll move for approval. I'll move for approval. I'm hearing a lot of feedback. Would it be possible for whoever's not?
Yeah, I'm hearing that. I'm hearing some
That
talking
might help.
also.
Can you hear me?
Scott, I think we need to ask everybody to mute if they're not speaking.
Yeah, so if you're not speaking, please mute, and we'll just go ahead and let Diana take the floor until questions are asked or we go to a motion or to a vote.
Oh, here we go. All right, let's try this again. Approval of the minutes.
I move approval.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Nicole.
Thank you. And is there any discussion? All right. We got a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, the motion passes. All right, we're on to item 7, which is a Measure S update presentation. Let's see, let me make sure I got this right. And I'm going to turn that over to you, Scott. Or we're going to do an oath first. Which we're going to do? We got an oath. Hold on. I've got the wrong agenda in front of me. I got January. So just a second, let me get the other one. All right, here we go. We have an introduction and the swearing in of Pat Buttress. Pat Buttress, welcome. We look forward to you being on our committee. You are going to be representing the a tax oversight committee. We appreciate you coming in and volunteering with us. And at this time, the oath will be given to you. Who's going to be giving the oath?
I will be giving the oath. I was going to bring it up on the screen as well. So
Okay.
I just went back so everyone could see who Pat is. So we have everybody here. So say hello to Pat and welcome her in. And thank you so much for going through the process. And amidst the pandemic, took quite a long time, but thank you for being patient with us. So I'm going to share the screen and go ahead and read that oath of affirmation, okay? And you will just repeat after me. So you'll need to turn your mic on. And everybody else, if you could mute, that would be great. So I, Pat Buttress.
Is my mic on, Scott?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
So we can go ahead. I, Pat Buttress,
I, Pat Buttress,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California. I guess I should have my hand up.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California.
That I take this obligation freely,
That I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
And we would like to then make it official that Pat Buttress is now the tax organization representative on our Citizens Oversight Committee. So she will be able to, I believe, could you confirm this, Dave? Would she vote on any items this evening, or it would be the next meeting, I believe?
No, it's in effect now.
Okay, great.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. So I will go ahead and.
Congratulations, Pat.
Thank you very much. I'm I'm looking forward to serving on this board.
Thank you so much.
Board,
Hi, Bill.
All right, let's move on then to the Measure S update presentation. I'll turn it over to you, Scott.
Sure, just give me 1 second to bring this up. Can everybody see the screen and the update? Can everybody see that?
I see you. I don't see
no,
No.
I just see pictures of everybody that's here.
Yeah, not yet, Scott.
Yeah, not yet.
Should be there.
Oh, hi, Bill.
Is it up? Okay.
Anna, how are you?
How are, I didn't know you joined us. Wonderful.
Well, I came in a little late. I had a little
Oh.
trouble getting in, but
Can everybody see now the sharing of the screen?
nope.
I
No.
can't see it. I just see everybody.
I see your lovely face.
Okay, let me go back then and try this again. Now you should be able to
Now
see.
it's getting
Now
there.
it's-
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
yes.
Technology is great. Now it's all recorded for everyone to see. Okay. We'll start with our Measure S update.
Mute and have you go through the program and then the presentation. Then after that we can engage. Okay, unless something comes up in between.
Sure. Anytime you want to stop for a question, please feel free to stop and ask the question, or if we want to hold to the end, that's fine as well. So just our program summary, just to go through as of July 23rd, which it says July 23rd, but we're not there quite yet. That this is something that we're sharing at the board level. So as of July, let's say, Orange High School's Science Center is now 90% complete. It will open to the students in late September, if we're able to do that. El Medina High School's project does have a slight delay due to late season rain, some supply chain issues because of COVID-19, and also the steel contractor did have some difficulties finishing up on the project. Villa Park High School's project also has delayed due to late season rains. This mainly had to do, both issues mainly had to do with the rains that came in very, very unexpectedly through March and parts of April and even into May, where we had rain. So we had a lot of rain days that were added on to both of these sites. At Villa Park's situation, you may have seen that there wasn't a whole lot of people on the site because the saturation of the soil was so bad we could not get vehicles in there to actually do the work. So the crane could not be set. Vehicles could not enter in that were doing grading work and doing utility infrastructure. So those are all things that caused that delay at Villa Park. So I know there were a lot of questions about that through the community and in terms of what Diana told us earlier in the week. Canyon High School Science Center will be starting structural steel very soon. So if you don't see anything, you'll see some pictures coming up in the presentation that will show you where those structural beams will be. But a lot of people have noticed that not a lot has been going on in terms of the building being up and started, but there's quite a lot of groundwork that had to be done, that had to be finished, grading work, utility infrastructure, and that's pretty much winding down, and we're getting into the structural steel portion. So we'll show you some pictures of what those big pads for the structural steel. The amazing part of the structural steel at Canyon is it's supposed to go up in 11 days. So we have a new system that we're using, the Conex Tech system, that they've assured us is 4 or 5 times quicker than what you may have with regular steel welding. It's almost like an erector set with some welding involved, but it's an interesting watch that you'll see. So I'm curious as to if they meet the 11 days. We're pleasantly or optimistically, hopeful on it, and we'll let you know how it goes.
Scott, if we have questions, do you want us to save them for the end?
I think so. Just in terms of, but I mean, however you want to do this, Diana, how do you want to do this?
I don't have a problem. We'll take it as you have the question.
Okay.
It pertains to both high school, or, go ahead and take them.
We're going to be going through each high school as well. And if you want to, if I can pause after each high school, and we can, after you see the pictures and the update, you can ask the questions. Does that help?
Well, it's not just confined to Villa Park. I just had a quick question on your program summary slide just now. The monthly progress report, that kind of like line graph, that we were provided doesn't quite line up with this. Like, you know, it shows, for example, that Villa Park High School is on time. It is scheduled to be completed at the end of November.
Well, you have to remember that we only go off of, this is Cummings update that they provide to you. You're talking, which update are you talking about?
It's that monthly progress report where it's on two different sheets, but it's like a line graph.
Yeah, so that in terms of the schedule is, we're still waiting to look at all the delays. And we have to go through and analyze each of the delays with the contractor and basically have them give us a recovery schedule. That's still ongoing. So we haven't received their full schedule update with the recovery schedule yet. Once we receive that, we'll be able to update the timing, the time frame. So officially on the schedule, it has not changed. So when that update goes in on a timeline type of graph, it won't update until we update the full schedule.
Okay, thank you very much.
So basically what I'm understanding, Scott, is that that's the original schedule. And
yes,
once they get all the recovery information about how long it's going to take, they'll have an updated schedule, but that's the original one.
That's correct. And that's this schedule is as of May. That's the May update that we are looking at there. Our June update should be sent out pretty soon here, but and we may not have the full schedule update on that yet. We're still working with the contractor, and I can explain more about that when we get into the Villa Park project. Any other questions before we move forward? Okay. So Orange High School, the closest to being completed here, there are 6 change orders, so a total of 2.25%. We don't believe that there's the last one is really just the last pending one. We may see one more on the job, hopefully not, but we're very confident that it's going to be a smaller amount, and we will be under 3% for this job in total change orders. There were some unforeseens, as we talked about along the way, and some acceleration that we participated in order to get this project to where it needed to be, given all those unforeseen conditions with the soil, with the cobble that we found, and some of the utilities that were existing that were not on any of our plans. So as you can see here, you can see the casework. This is a couple weeks ago, but you can still see that the casework and the ceiling grid are in, and they're in the finish mode at this point for this building. Bathroom tiles going in the middle picture, and all the brick, as you can see on that right-hand side picture, has been put up on the building, and it's just pending the flat work and the stucco, which will happen over the next 2 months. So again, that building will open in late September to students. That is our plan, and we'll, hopefully be planning a ribbon cutting, if possible, at the site. So we'll be giving you more information because our next meeting is not till October. We'll definitely send out correspondence and make sure that you all are aware of any activities going on at this building.
The only comment I want to make to that, if you can go back one slide, Scott, is that any of you that have done home improvements, and especially if your house is over 50 years old, the fact that we can complete this project with such a small amount of change orders and unknowns, I think is a tremendous accomplishment. So I don't know if we were good or lucky or a combination of both, but I appreciate all the work that Scott and the team did to get us this project close to the finish line with such a small amount of change orders. That's quite an accomplishment.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate that, Mr. Farah. One thing to note is what was really successful, and we're going to continue on with this format in the second phase, is using allowances. So there's some common allowances that we use, one for underground. So if we find anything underground, we went over that allowance by a lot, but we did have an allowance there. We had allowance for unforeseen design conditions. So if there's a design issue that needs to be changed, in the first increment of this project, there were some design issues that weren't caught. So we put in a contingency for that amount, for a certain amount in our allowances to cover that. And then city improvements, as we got into the city, there were a lot of things that the city changed, and we knew that was going to happen. So our team put together allowances for the city. I don't know if anyone's seen the closure on Walnut now, but they're doing major utility work, and they wanted to partner with us, and we were actually able to improve the water feed into the property. We were able to improve the parking areas and make them all concrete now versus the asphalt that was there. New drainage along that side. Those are all plans that they had, but we were able to integrate in with our infrastructure outside of the campus. So it's been successful, and it's taken a while to get here, but I think we're on the home stretch, and we'll be very happy to show this building to you the next time we meet, if not sooner.
Scott, Pat has a question.
Sure.
I'm not only with OC Taxpayers Association, but I am on the executive board for the Orange Chamber of Commerce. And I just wanted to bring up, since we don't have that membership filled at this point, that when you go to do your openings, please coordinate with the chamber so that we can get the word out to all the businesses, because I think the Orange businesses are going to be very interested in these wonderful new STEM buildings going in. Thank you. That's it.
Of course. Thank you so much. Good suggestion.
I have a comment, Scott. When you said that the building, you specifically said, given the time frame in September, it will be open to students. I read that to mean that students will be sitting at, forget the COVID, if everything was normal, the students would be sitting at their desks with the teachers actually teaching inside the classroom. Is that what you mean by the opening?
Yeah, I mean, we anticipate, when we say September, it's going to be very late into September. We anticipate the week of the 28th being really the kind of the first week of school in that building. We have been working, so if you're wondering if we've been working with the teachers and if we're just going to throw this on them when they return, no, that's not the case. We have been working on an occupancy plan with the teachers. We have a move manager that's actually, working with them in their rooms to help pack up things, provide boxes. They're coming in, on their time, which was being compensated by the district outside of Measure S, meaning that we have a fund for teachers that move classrooms in HR, and we're utilizing that to help the teachers and motivate them to get prepared. And so they're packing their rooms. They're deciding most importantly, they're deciding what to get rid of. And then they're not moving old furniture over, so it makes it a little easier since they're going to be moving into sites with new furniture. So there is a plan. It's going very well, and all the teachers and the principal, Dennis McHuston, are very aware of what we're doing and what we're planning and the logistics involved. So,
Scott, a quick question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
The 100 building, are you going to be going over that separately, or can you give us an update on that?
Sure. And when we get into the phase 2 portion, I'll give you a quick update on where we are. And I'm really excited to show you guys in the future some of the renderings that we have, and I'll share a little bit about when you should expect to see that.
Excellent.
So,
thank you.
So here's some more. Are there any more questions? I just wanted to share the next picture. You can see kind of up close here, really how large these classrooms are. This particular classroom here is the chemistry lab. Is 2,200 square feet. So it's gigantic.
Beautiful.
Villa Park. I chose this picture. It was a picture in a previous update for April, but you can see the impact of the soil there, just alone on that picture. So far, we have had 4 change orders. 0.3% is where we are now with the project. We're still in structural steel and decking based on the delays that I mentioned to you. There are also some issues with the contractor, the structural steel contractor, and repairs that needed to be made to the site. And our inspector is making sure that these are done so that we don't have any deviations with DSA.
Did you anticipate additional change orders related to the soil saturation?
What we see here covers some of that. There may be a little bit more, but not necessarily for the science building. If you remember, we added on the pickup drop-off area in the front, and we found that area was very saturated beyond just the soil on the top. it was well within all of the layers of soil. So we had to let it dry out, and in some fact actually extract water. It's the biggest water extraction job I've ever seen on a construction project. So it's luckily Villa Park soil is so awesome that we we at least this site is that we had major issues trying to get things started. So the good news is the pickup drop off is going to open in time. If you've seen it, you can see all the curbing in. It's just a matter of putting the asphalt in and doing the landscape. I think everybody will really enjoy what they see. But yeah, there may be one or two other changes. We also have some allowances in that portion of the work as well.
Okay, and then are there any changes that need to be made to the site for the future to prevent
Yes.
drainage? Okay.
So that's a really good question. And so sorry, my light turned off. So we have another plan that we're putting in that we're actually doing a change order with the current contractor to do phase 1 of what needs to be done at the campus to mitigate the drainage. What it involves is basically on the west side of the property where all the water gathers, there'll be a larger V ditch put in across the property and a underground 30-inch pipe that will help alleviate water from the site. There's in the pickup drop-off area, there's improved curbing, improved drainage flow, so that surface drainage will all make it to that side. It will be prepared for the new V ditch and the drainage that's over there, and it will help carry the water off the campus better. Also in phase 2, we're going to be adding in additional piping, 30-inch piping across the campus so that all the water goes into the appropriate spaces and then into the underground, drainage system to the city's main. So that's what we've been working on. It's a 2-phase approach, but it's going to drastically help some of the issues that we've had in the construction and then with the field construction, especially just alleviating what we've seen in the amount of water that this property takes on. Okay.
Thank you.
So here's some pictures, the pickup drop-off area being graded. It's a lot more well along at this point. And then the building, you don't see too much difference than you've seen in other pictures, but there is quite a bit more support on that. But we are working to fast track and, like we said, get a recovery schedule that would bring this project closer to the date that we were supposed to be finishing. And the contractor is taking responsibility, and we are working with them on those specific schedules. At El Medina High School, we are into the decking and really the MEP phase and the framing as well, interior and exterior framing. There are no current change orders. We are assessing the delays as we are on Villa Park and holding the contractor responsible for their portion of the delay. So we anticipate to have more information for you on both of these projects, but El Medina will overshoot its date. It was supposed to be this summer, obviously, but we can go further into those delays once we have a chance to settle all the things we need to settle with the contractor. This is the same contractor as Villa Park, so there are some overlapping issues. Here are some more pictures. You can see interior to the building, a lot of the infrastructure is in place, and it is moving forward. We would just like to have it move forward a little more quickly. We have had issues with COVID-19 and especially at this site with labor force, and that's been an ongoing struggle for us. Any questions on El Medina?
Pat has a question.
I had one.
Yes.
Sure.
I was just going to ask on the slide, which said spring of 2020, that should have read summer of 2020, and now it's changed further out.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes.
That's okay. I'm looking at it thinking, well, we're way past spring 2020, so.
Yeah, we are. It actually should say, and that was my fault, that should actually say spring of 21.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's I've been mixing up my 19s, 20s, and 21s for sure. But that's I will make that change before the board meeting. Thank you for pointing that out. But that, yeah, and that's what the reality is based on the scheduling that we're looking at. But we're actually looking to improve upon that. But we know that it will not be ready in the fall per se, based on the delays that we're seeing. Canyon High School we talked about already. It is a patchwork of a lot of different structural components at this point, underground structural components and utilities. We do have 3 change orders in the project for 0.8% at this point. And here are some pictures. As you can see, the foundation is in for at least for the structural columns to be put in place, and all of the brackets are in and all of that. The picture on the right is what used to be, you know, on the side of the gym there was the ramp system. That's going to be completely redone and done to an ADA standard that's much better, obviously. So those are some pictures of Canyon. That's all that we have to show at this point in terms of Canyon, but you'll start to see that structural steel go up very soon.
Scott, look, can I just review the dates here, what we're looking at? So Canyon, you anticipate the opening and usability in fall of 2021.
Correct.
Villa Park is the winter of 2020. Elmo is the spring of 2021. And Orange High, we're looking at fall of 2020.
Yes. And in terms of El Medina, because of the scheduling issues that we haven't worked out, all of the delays and the recovery, it could be, you know, it could be sooner than the spring, meaning it could be slightly after the winter break into January, February. But I don't want to. It's spring semester still. That's why I say spring. So the date, the year is wrong, but the you know, the semester is what we're shooting for. But February would be a more likely date at this point for El Medina.
And
With
winter of 2020. See, we're gonna go with that date. It almost looks like it's too soon, but I'll take your word for it that that'll be done winter of 2020.
Winter 2021.
Winter of 2021. Okay, all right. I said 2020. It's 2021.
Yeah. So yes, 2021, winter of 2021. I believe that's what it says on the slide, but I will check that and make sure that we update that as well.
Okay. Let me just.
For Villa Park, winter 2021?
Yeah, that's what's on the schedule right now. Like we said, we're still working out all the details and the delays, but more likely that's going to be in a little bit further on into the spring semester.
Well, but you're talking about like still in the 2020-21 school
Correct.
year.
Correct.
Like, so when you're talking about winter 2021, you're talking January 2021, not next December 2021.
That's correct.
Okay. So yeah, I still consider that actually to be winter 2020, you know, because if you're talking about even December, January, you start talking about winter 2021, and I start thinking December 2021.
Yeah, because the winter starts at that point. Yes.
Yeah.
So the likely date we're not 100% sure yet for Villa Park. It's going to be in the spring semester, which would start in January, and some point after that. We're looking at that. So we'll give you an update once we have that in the next COC meeting, if not, you know, in our reports that we send out.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the presentation.
Sure. And then in the phase 2, we are pretty much done with all design development for all of the sites. It says May, but I think we just finished up our last one in the end of June. But design development is complete. So we are now finalizing that, getting our estimates, and our first board presentation will be next week for the Villa Park new building that we're putting in. So it's very exciting, and we'll really excited to share. Nicole had a chance to sit on a panel that saw the design, and I think that most people were pleased. It's a lot like the Science Center, but it has some different components that are unique. So it is a 2-story building, 18 classroom, but it has some neat features that the parents and the students and the staff are going to be able to interact with us and kind of design some graphics and different things. So we're excited to do that and to present it to the board next week. So I fully ask you to view that. We can also send it out to the COC after the board presentation. We'd like the board to see it first, and then we could share it across the board to everybody else on our support team, including the Citizens Oversight Committee. So we will send that out once the board meeting has completed, so you can see that PowerPoint update. So that's the first one that will happen in July. Then in August, we're going to have our team from HED on August 13th present. They will be presenting the El Medina project, which is a lot of renovation, as we talked about, and a couple of new building areas, including an addition to the administrative services building, the office building there. And then in September, we will have the Orange High School. Now, Orange High School does include the demo of building 100 and 200, like you said, Bill. And in terms of that, we are very excited with the design that we've seen to date. We had a meeting today, and we're going to be sharing that with the Orange Historical Society. I know there's a couple of them. So we're going to be reaching out within the next week to set up a meeting with them to go over the alumni corner. We want to make sure that the community feels it's connected well to the environment, to the community in general. With Chapman being close to us, there's some design elements that look similar to Chapman, but we brand them ourselves with our own flair. And there's a lot of seating areas in the front for students to wait for rides. There's abilities to see some of the history, meaning there's plaques and other information that are part of the building that are really exciting. The Townsend room will be redone and moved, but the artifacts that are in the Townsend room will remain. So there's some really neat things that we're working on that kind of meld the new and the old together. And so I'm excited to show that to you as well. So same thing, we'll share that design as the board sees it, and we'll pass that on to the COC.
I'm also on the board of directors for the Orange Community Historical Society. So
well, we'll see you. We'll see you very soon. So if you could put me in touch with the right person, I would love to start making that contact this week. Could you have my email address that you could email me their information?
I probably don't, but you can give it to me real quick.
Okay, it's just S Harvey. My first initial last name at orangeusd.org.
You got it.
And then once we get through the presentations, we'll start and we get the approval. We're actually asking the board for an approval to move forward. We will start the construction document process this summer, in some cases after September in Orange's cases, and then move into December with those documents and possibly January, just depending on which site goes first. We like to spread them out in order to not overwhelm DSA and our own staff in coming back with changes and discussions. So DSA review, we think will be December, and that is 2020, to May of 21. So roughly about 6 months in DSA. Sometimes it could take longer, sometimes it's shorter. It just depends on their workload. But 6 months is a good gauge of what we've seen at the longest stretch. And then, of course, construction starting in the fall. We may do some selective demo. Outside of contract, meaning that we would have 2 separate bids, one for the demo and one for the actual building. It may be a possibility to use the summer to get some of the buildings demolished. So we're looking into that, and it just depends on, the impact to the campus and the cost, of course. So we are working on all those variables. So that is the update. And I would be happy to take any questions at this point.
Do we have any questions or comments from anyone from the committee at this point?
I just have the comment that I am very happy that we did take advantage of the students not being on campus for COVID to do some things that we wouldn't have normally been able to do, like do the driveway and drop off pickup area at Villa Park. I think that was really smart.
Yeah, I wish they would start sooner now that I think about it, because it's still cutting it close. We're still like August something for the last, landscape going in, and I get nervous about it, but for all intents and purposes, all the flat work will be in, and the students will be able to get in, no problem. There may be the marquee may be going in and stuff like that later, but I'm really excited for the community to see this change. It's the first change that you'll see on the front side of campus, where the orange, you have a new building that's almost done, but it's near the rear of the campus. You have to kind of drive to the side of the campus to see it. But here at Villa Park, this pickup drop-off will be a complete transformation of the front of the campus. As you can see, driving by, it being all ripped up.
Yeah, and the curbing's gone in. It's looking really good.
Good to hear. I thought you'd be more nervous than that, so I'm glad to hear that. Good.
Well, thank you for that. All right. With that, we'll go on to the next item, which is agenda items for the next meeting. One of the agenda items is to actively go out and search. Hopefully at this point, we may have a candidate for the business organization representative. And we can put that on the agenda. And if you have someone at that time, we'll be able to swear them in and add them to the committee. So if we could add that on there for that. Other than that, is there any other item on the agenda that any of the committee would like to see?
And then, Deanna, I just wanted to say one other thing is too, that we'll pass on the applications to all the members. We did that before as well, so that all committee members can see that the applications and make any kind of comment. That's kind of what you and I decided we would have the involvement of the committee in. And then in terms of the interview process and the actual selection recommendation, that will be done by our executive cabinet. And then ultimately the successful candidate will be approved by our board.
Absolutely. That works out great. And if any committee member has any recommendations that we can reach out to anyone, that would be great.
Sure.
Are there any other items that anyone would like to see at the next meeting? When is our next meeting?
October something. Shay, do you know the date offhand? I have to look it up.
The date offhand?
It's like the week before our board meeting.
Scott, where are you?
I am. Oh,
Scott,
I didn't.
Where
explain.
are you?
I'm in the Science Center as we speak. No, this is what it will look like finished, but this is a rendering of the Orange High School.
That's what I figured.
Chemistry lab. Yeah. I'm in my office, actually. And a light keeps going out on me.
That looks great.
The CLC committee is scheduled for October 21st.
Thank you. We tried to change it up a little bit because we tried to put it on the opposite week of our board meeting. A couple times we had back-to-back Citizens Oversight Committee and board meeting, and it was a little bit tough for all of us to manage all that.
And if I could make one note, Pat, if you wanted to see a copy of the documents as far as the initial documents, they are all online, but if you want hard copies, go ahead and ask Scott for them coming in. If you want to see the, any of the prior minutes or anything like that, everything is online, so they don't give any paper copies, but if you want them, please ask him and he'll give you all the back copies so you can get yourself,
Thanks, Deanna. Thank
Great.
you.
I think that's a great point.
I can go online, and if I want a copy, I'll make a hard copy here at my home office. I got all these.
Or please feel free to reach out to Shay Brown, and Shay can help you as well.
That's great, but this worked out perfect, much better than when I had to go before the Board of Trustees, which was a really interesting Donnybrook. But this worked out fine. and I'm very pleased to be on board. And I did hard copy your report, the report, because I thought that would catch me up faster than anything, is just to get updated of where we're at. I don't have to worry about what y'all did before I got here. I just now have to worry about what we do henceforth. And I do have a suggestion for a candidate for the business end of it.
Great.
So, and it was, I think I have your email, Scott, so I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah, Pat, this is
Yes.
Gil Marie. Could you please email us that information?
Oh, I
And
will.
we'll send them an application. And just so you know that there's certain specified in the education code representative members of the COC. So being the business representative member, they do have to be a member of a business organization. So such as a chamber, like a chamber. Yeah.
Well,
So we had Trevor O'Neill, who was previously in the Anaheim Chamber. We had Jack Robalt, who was in the Orange Chamber. So we're looking for someone like that that has those connections.
that's who this person is. Actually, it's Elisa Driscoll, who is the interim vice president at Chapman University, and she has been on the Orange Chamber of Commerce board for a couple of years now. So she would be an easy transition because she kept track of everything that Jack was doing anyhow. So she's probably more up to date than even I am.
And more up to date than Jack was.
Could they be?
Yeah, well, that's true
of
too,
the
Bill.
staff
Want
of
to
the
go
business organization?
But I just thought that Elisa might be, and it would be really good for her to get to know all of you, because this would be a new world for her. And I've been working with her to try and get her involved in organizations that allows her to get to know more people than just, that group of Rotarians and chamber board and, which is kind of
Good old boys.
the good old boys. I'm just one of the good old boys, been around forever.
I think, thank you, Pat. I think Bill had a question.
No, I'm good.
Bill Campbell.
It's Bill Campbell.
Oh, Bill Campbell.
My question was,
Which Bill you're talking about? Yeah.
could it be an employee of the business organization of one of the chambers as opposed to a member of the chamber?
That's
In other words, a staff member.
Yeah, that's a really good question. My understanding for the education code, they have to somehow represent the business community. So we would have to look into that, because by being a representative, you are somehow a member of an organization, not just a staff member. So
It says active member. I think
it says active member.
Active member would be versus employee would be, I think, challengeable because they have to be there. But whereas an active member is someone that chooses to either volunteer or get a stipend to be there.
Because
Okay, Scott, thank you for that explanation. Madam Chair, I'd like to make one other comment if I could.
Yes, please.
And that is, I'm so excited about Orange High having their building almost done and ready in September. That is wonderful news. I'm anxious to be there for the ribbon cutting. Congratulations.
Thank you, Bill.
Yes.
All right, if there aren't any other comments, then I will adjourn the meeting until October 21st.
And since we're off the agenda, I can see all of you. I know that some of you are wondering about the Villa Park field and other things. I know that those have been asked. So to go off record now that we're adjourned, the field will be completed by the middle to late part of August, and be ready for students by the time they return to school. For the most part, I mean, it may be little touches, but the field will be open, and all the second phase work is done. Also, Fred Kelly Stadium is completed, ready for opening as of July 27th.
How about the pool at Elmo?
That will start. We're in. So if you have some people that want to bid the project, it's actually advertising starting tomorrow. And we'll have a process obviously to go through, and we'll be starting the project in late September.
Very good. Thank you.
And about a year to 14 months, we think it's going to be the duration.
Very good. Thank you.
All right, well, wonderful. Thank you. Good to see everybody. Hopefully, in October, we'll see each other in person. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
That
Yes.
would be
Be
nice.
safe.
That would be nice.
All right. Well, good night, everyone.
Have a
Good
good
night,
night.
everyone.
Thanks all.
All right, now I gotta find your button to get out of here.
Good night.
And